All right, welcome to episode number 53 of the Illini Basketball Podcast. I think it's episode 53, right? Yeah.
That seems correct.
All right, so we're going to start this one by saying that if they would have lost that game on Friday, we would be seeing this.
Underwood. Thin ice!
That's what we'd see, and that's what it would have come down to. It didn't. Thankfully, I think there's one player that Underwood should probably thank on many occasions due to that. 77-72, overtime win for the Illini. They go to overtime with, what some would say is the worst team in the Big Ten. I do think it's pretty close between Northwestern and Nebraska as to who is the worst team in the conference. But we both, thought they could win this game by double digits. It didn't look like they would ever actually do that for the entire game. So
you can't spot a team 9 points out the gate and expect to win by double digits after that. It started out really ugly. And it didn't get a whole lot better during the game, but Nebraska was just their size, I think, is what really hurt Illinois, just their length on the defensive end. They really packed the lane. Underwood didn't want to shoot 35 threes. I think they shot 21 anyways. So not exactly how they wanted to attack it. But, when it's going bad and you don't know what to do, you just give the ball to Io, So Io clearly the player of the game here. 31 points, 12 of 23 shooting. He didn't shoot very well starting off and then kind of got his rhythm. Only 3 rebounds. So his rebounds were down again. But I think that has a lot to do with Nebraska's length also. 6 assists, 4 steals in 42 minutes. So he played all but 3 minutes of the game, and Illinois needed him for all that time. He scored the last 15 points for the Illini during regulation, like the last 750, I believe. And then he scored like the first 5 or 7 in overtime, and just was just really good, really proved how good he is in this game. And 31 points was his career high for a Big Ten game. And Underwood said of him, like he always does, it was his time. What was really unique is he had not played that great. He missed some opportunities he normally doesn't. So, like I said, he was struggling for a while, and then all of a sudden it was just kind of like he knew if this team was going to win, that he was going to have to take over. So, I thought his biggest shot of the night was 20 seconds left in overtime. He did kind of this, between the legs shimmy move and hit an 18-footer. Just shots that you expect Io to make in big moments, and he continued to do it. So he did struggle from the line, 5 of 8 from the free throw line. Illinois overall was not good from the line. I think they were 68%, 63%, so 14 to 22.
What was Nebraska?
Nebraska was 17 of 25 for 68%.
It's better than I thought.
Yeah, they had some ugly free throws, but and Iowa did have 4 turnovers. I know that's a big glaring thing that a lot of people pointed out. Oh yeah, player of the year, but he had 4 turnovers. Well, I mean, when you have the ball most of the time, sometimes you should turn it over. So,
yeah.
But what'd you put here? Second player in the last 25 seasons?
Second player in the last 25 seasons in the Big Ten to have a triple-double and a 30-point game in consecutive games. Denzel Valentine with Michigan State did that. So that stat is from ESPN Stats and Info, I think, on Twitter. Okay. They tweeted that. So anytime that, you get recognition from the quote-unquote big dogs, you gotta throw it out there. And I think Io just proved, he is he's built for March, and he's one of a few players, I think, in college basketball that can do this and completely take the game over, and he has to do it. And that's the thing. And that's why I think, if you are someone, and I thought this for a while up until the last couple of weeks, that, the National Player of the Year race is over. I don't think it's over, because I think, Io is, first of all, he is the absolute number 1 guy on this team. Nobody's even close. And if you look at Iowa, they have a lot of really good college players, and Wieskamp can take a game over. Garza, they can win games with Garza not doing much. He had 8 points against Michigan State. They beat him by 30. So I think people need to take that into consideration. I do think the race is tightening up, but it's going to be really hard to convince some people, I think, to go to the other side.
Yeah, and Garza had 8 points today. Was that right? Is that what he said?
8 points yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday. But I think Iowa ended up winning that game by 30 anyways.
Yeah.
But, Iowa's just been really good. I saw Tim Doyle doesn't even have him on his All-American team, which what a slap in the face that is.
I really like Tim. We go a ways back. I was watching, his content like 5 or 6 years ago, former player at Northwestern. I don't understand that. Who's his All-American team?
It is Garza,
okay,
Corey Kispert, Jared Butler,
yep,
Cade Cunningham, and then Charles Bassey.
Okay, dude. I mean, first of all,
Western Kentucky.
Why would he have 2 centers on there?
Yeah.
I think Bassey's an All-American, like a third-team guy, probably maybe second-team. But
I think they said that he does a lot of games in that conference, so that's
definitely true. Yeah,
in Conference USA, so that might have been a reason.
Tim is officially down a peg on my likability factor. I used to like him a lot more now.
Yeah,
what the hell's he doing?
And Underwood, had a few other things to say. Some pretty good quotes, I thought. This one, I don't know what the last chapters are going to look like, but the middle ones are damn hellacious.
Okay.
So, hard rocking dude is damn hellacious these days. So,
I mean, yeah.
And I think we sentiment with, all of us feel this. I'm glad number 11 was on our team tonight. If Iowa was not on this team, Illinois might have lost by 15. So.
That's what probably makes me and a lot of other people worried about next season, but I'm trying to enjoy this one.
Right, exactly. And that's all we can do. We're going to enjoy this and enjoy the ride with Iowa and Kofi. So
I'm also going through the Twitter of Tim Doyle, and yesterday he said Western Kentucky /Rice now on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah.
AKA he was doing that game.
Big Western Kentucky guy. So
I'm not trying to take away from Bassey. I think he's a great player, and he's definitely worthy of being on one of the All-American teams. But to have him on the first team, the other thing is like 2 centers makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree. And the only reason I saw that pop up is because at A Lion I, that Robert, I don't know what his last name is, posted a thing that said Io is the only player in the last 11 years to average at least 20.6 rebounds and 5 assists. So once in a decade talent, and you don't have him on your first team All-American ballot. I don't know, but some old Illini are calling for player of the year for Io. Latulip was tweeting about it. Myers Leonard was tweeting about it. So
we got to make sure he's an All-American first, right?
That's right. So, Io was really good. Kofi also really good. He was slow to start out the gate. Nebraska kept just compressing down on them. Couldn't get the ball to him, but once they finally did, Kofi 21 points, 7 of 8 shooting, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks. So pretty impressive numbers. His 14th double-double of the season. And Underwood said of him, he's doing this as a freshman and sophomore. He imposes his will and strength and girth on people. And he wears you out over time. Pretty impressive.
That's what he should do, yeah.
So, but great game by Kofi. Like I said, it's the 2-headed monster. But they did have guys, Miller threw in 10, Frazier threw in 10. So it wasn't like they didn't do anything. Their shooting wasn't spectacular, but you're always going to need Kofi and Io to come out, and they definitely did. Kofi is now averaging 18.9 points per game, 11.4 rebounds per game, and shooting a solid 69% from the field in Big Ten games. So Grandison only got 6 minutes, is still starting. I don't know if that's going to last much longer.
I think this was the game that kind of did it.
Yeah. I don't know if he started in overtime. I wasn't paying that close. I don't think that he started overtime. I really didn't think that he would start the second half, but like I said, he played 6 minutes, had a steal, a turnover, and an assist, and missed his only shot. So I think his defense is really a liability. And when you have DeMonte, who is known for his defense, I think that you have to get him in the game. DeMonte ended up playing 32 minutes, 5 rebounds, didn't take a shot, 2 assists, 2 blocks. So he's got to stop. I love his attitude. I love his bulldog mentality, but he's got to calm down a little bit. He's going to cost Illinois a game one of these days with getting teed up or a flagrant or something. He almost did it. What game was that? They don't run together anymore. But when he did that one game, and Illinois was up like 7 or something, and it kind of could have got the team back in it. But
Penn State
might have been Penn State. I feel like it was a red team, but I can't remember.
Ohio State.
Well, they lost that game, so I guess that maybe he did. Maybe he already lost one, and we just don't know it. Like I said, Frazier had 10 points. I thought he played okay. Didn't do anything too bad. I felt when he was in the game, he really helped on the defensive end like he always does. Had a nice pick and a breakaway mid-game. McGowan's, it seemed like he could do whatever he wanted when Trent wasn't in the game. But McGowan shot 5 of 20 from the field. So Miller did a really good job on him, I think. Your boy Ace Wolf, God, his shot is just, I don't know. Sometimes it looks good, but a lot of times it's just not close. And I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know either. I don't think it's ever going to be fixed at this point. It's February. I don't think we're going to see much difference. And I just went back, by the way, and DeMonte did start in overtime. And I also went back and watched that possession again. Can you imagine if they called a foul on Io on that last possession for Nebraska?
Yeah, everybody kept saying that the refs bailed out Illinois.
That's BS. I mean,
it didn't look like a foul to me.
No, it looked like something that they would call probably in the middle of the game.
Yeah, but not.
But you can't call that at the end. And I'm glad they didn't. And also, I think a lot of people went with this. We did. Hoiberg is too good for Nebraska, I think.
Yeah.
He's too good of a coach, too smart of an offensive coach to have the team execute that poorly down the stretch. You have 20 seconds left to win the game. It's a tie game.
And he drew up something good. Like I text you, I said, this isn't good. Fred's going to do something great. And the dude just dribbled. McCown's just dribbled the whole time.
It's terrible.
That happens a lot in college basketball, but the way Nebraska was cutting to the rim, Illinois was really struggling against them. But Curbelo, he was not great. I can't remember. I don't know who was announcing the game, but he kept saying how Curbelo was the reason Illinois was coming back in this game. Sean Morris. He's an idiot.
Yeah, his name is spelled S-H-O-N. There's a serious problem there.
Curbelo had 3 turnovers, 0 for 3 from the field. He did have 4 boards, so in 10 minutes or whatever he played, he had more rebounds than Io, which is
yeah. I mean, like you said, the games do run together. I think this was the game where it might have been the last game, the Wisconsin game. One of those games you texted me, get him out. About Curbelo. It might have been both games.
It was this one.
And I think it actually happened in both games because he was getting dummied by Trice.
Yeah, he couldn't play defense.
He's becoming a big liability defensively. But when they were down 9-0, I think that's when he came in. He kind of helped get them going.
That steal and that little push pass was nice. But
that's like all he's been doing recently. He's like coming off the bench and getting the team going, and then after that, he's just bad.
Yeah, and he had like 2 or 3 turnovers. Like his 3 turnovers were on like consecutive possessions, which is not fun.
I also think teams are taking away his space a lot more now too, because when he's driving to the hoop, he has no room to do anything.
Right. And I despise the Underwood weave. And doing it in this game. Nebraska they weren't moving. They were just letting them weave out front. But I do like it when it does get motion going to the basket. But the only guys that do that are Io and Curbelo. And Curbelo is having a hard time because guys are reaching. he leaves the ball out too much. It's too open for people to sneak a hand in there and knock it away, and you see that a lot. But when the weave is good is when you get downhill and you do those things, and they just don't have. I mean, besides Io, they don't have anybody that can do that. They do run a nice set out of the weave sometimes, but it's few and far between. But I thought it was nice. Underwood realized that Hawkins is on this team again. So Hawkins got a solid 10 minutes. I thought he played really well, made his only 3, was 2 of 5 from the field. So, maybe he's going to play a little bit more now. He might play no minutes next game against Northwestern.
He got a little too confident for me there for a few minutes. He was good, but
I'm okay with that though. Like, how is he not? You play well when you're confident. That's I understand. There were times where he would go to the hoop, but Grandison does the same thing, and I don't like it. So.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. I think Hawkins should get more minutes than Grandison the next game. I don't know if it'll happen because how Underwood's rotations are from game to game, very different. But I was just thinking, like,
on who did good in practice. So
how many coaches are there in the country right now that are like a mix between what Hoiberg does well and what Underwood does well? Like, Underwood is good at like recruiting and like straight up, players coaching,
he gets athletes.
Motivating. And then Hoiberg is much more of an X's and O's guy.
Yeah.
How many guys are in the country that can do both of those things super well? It's got to be a very short list.
Probably not very many. I mean, that's the game these days. Is you have guys that are good together, and that's the thing. Nebraska is going to be good next year, I think.
How good? Like they can win a Big Ten game, good or like
they won a Big Ten game today. By the way, they beat Penn State.
Did they win? Oh yeah, they did.
Yep.
Congrats to them.
State. So that's it. I think Illinois kind of caught Nebraska not at a great time. I mean, they were playing 2-3 games in a row, kind of getting that cohesiveness. And I think Illinois just kind of ran into it. And, sometimes you overlook teams. You look at a team and say, oh, they're 0-11 or whatever in the Big Ten. And this is what happens. But, they snuck it out. The last guy I got to mention, Georgie, I think he had 3 fouls in 6 minutes. Good job, Georgie.
I think I'm glad Illinois caught them on Friday instead of today. They caught them today, probably would have lost that game. But, this is like, the Illinois teams of the last 3 or 4 years probably don't win this game, I think.
Right.
And I think the factor –
I didn't when they were down 5 or 6 with, 3 minutes, I was worried. Honestly.
I think the panic button was being down 61-56.
Yeah, that's what
and then because that was after they hit a Lat Mayen hit a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was 66-64.
And then he hit another one, right? Or no, he missed the second one. It was in and out.
It was 66-64 with Nebraska at the free throw line, and Banton missed a free throw by about 7 feet to the left. Mm-hmm. And then Io tied the game. People probably thought that could have been a foul for an and one. I don't blame them for not calling that, and then Illinois wins the game. But, Nebraska's length was definitely a problem, and, a lot of Big Ten teams are like that. They have those big guys. So
big guys that can move. So, and maybe it was a good thing that Illinois didn't play Michigan. I'm not saying that's
I don't know.
That's not going to be different when you play somebody else. But you know what? I just can't stand Michigan fans because – Nebraska took you to overtime, blah, blah, blah. Anyways.
I didn't get caught up in that.
I did. But that's more on me. So, I don't know. Illini fans, a win is a win, as we say. Let's not hang our heads over this. I think Io had a great quote after the game. He said, at the end of the day, that left column says win. There's no moral victories. There's no almost wins. It just says win. I'm grateful to get this win. So
he better win on Tuesday.
He better win on Tuesday because we're not getting beat by Chicago's team. And then a couple more quotes I got just from Underwood. Me and you, we're both big golf guys. We like golf. I thought that Underwood had a very good comparison. Underwood said of this game, it's like shanking a tee shot into the rough behind a tree, punch it out, miss the green, and save par. And he said, you put par on the scorecard, and nobody's drawn a picture. And that's what he kind of told his players, that we escape in very ugly fashion. So
Does Underwood want to go golfing with us this summer?
I don't know, but we need to work on that. Definitely.
Well, we can't even get him on this podcast, so
True.
doing something with him in person probably won't happen.
Hey, maybe I'll work on that. Maybe you're not as good at getting people.
I mean, I'm fine with you doing that. I think we need to get Underwood on this summer. So
Sounds good.
that's my thought on that.
The only other thing that I saw is the people of Twitter are saying that the rest of the players just stand around and watch Io. What do you think of that?
I mean, it's true, is it not?
I mean, but was the game plan the last 7 minutes not get the ball to Io and let him do Io things? How's that the team's fault?
I think the game plan was 3-man weave, and then Io was like, no.
True.
So the player of the game tracker that I've been doing is we both picked Io for this game, so that's 6 for Io in this season.
So we are not giving him the Michael Jordan treatment.
Well, we both have him at 6. Other guys, I believe Kofi is at 4 for you and 3 for me. Frazier's at 3. Miller is at or you have Frazier at 2. I have Frazier at 3. I have Kofi at 3. You have Kofi at 4. I have Miller at 2. You have Miller at 2. You have Curbelo at 2. I have him for 0, so I'm probably a hater. I have DeMonte 4 times because I think early in the season he was making every shot and playing good defense. So Ohio,
now he's back to not taking shots.
Ohio, Duke, Rutgers, and Purdue are the 4 DeMonte games that I picked. You had DeMonte once, so you're a hater. You had Georgie twice.
Yikes.
You had Georgie twice. I had him once, and that's it. So Io's at 6, way ahead.
Well, we do have a comment. Huge fan of the show. You guys should do love callers. I know it's Valentine's Day, but I think he means live callers. So
I mean, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I don't know how we do that on this, but maybe we can figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you should figure that out. That's your job. But thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words.
Where do you think they're going to be in the AP tomorrow? 5?
I think so. Villanova lost.
Yeah, but couldn't you see?
I could see somebody
bumping someone over them.
I could see somebody jumping them just because Nebraska took them into overtime.
It's ridiculous if somebody does that. That's most of the people that vote for the AP are examples of what do you want to call them? Idiots that don't really pay enough attention, or their system sucks. Like, hey, you only beat Nebraska by 5, as if a win is not a win, is a win is a win in the Big Ten. You only beat them by 5 in overtime. Let's go ahead and drop you a couple and put someone ahead of you.
Right.
That's the system. Like,
I don't know who would jump them.
West Virginia, no, they lost, didn't they?
Texas Tech.
West Virginia. What about Oklahoma? Oklahoma beat West Virginia.
But they're 12. You think they jump all the way up to 5?
I think they'll jump to 7 or 6.
Yeah. I think that it doesn't.
I see. We're going to talk about this tomorrow on the Countdown to March Madness number 2, but a lot of people not respecting the former Illini coach Lon Kruger. Nobody really having him on Coach of the Year list. Have you seen the job he's doing there? They're literally probably the 2nd or 3rd best team in the conference.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of really good wins.
Yeah.
Like
Lon Kruger, I mean, he goes places and he wins. He's a great coach.
Yeah, and would you take him back right now?
No.
I wouldn't either.
I'm fine with Brad. Although I don't always agree with him, I'm fine with Brad.
Like, they have 5 losses, 5 quad 1 losses, and 5 quad 1 wins. They beat Alabama. They beat West Virginia. They beat Texas. They beat West Virginia again, and then they beat Kansas. So, and then their quad 1 losses, they lost to Texas Tech twice. They lost to Baylor. They lost to Xavier, weirdly, in December. But, and they lost to Kansas once. But the fact that people aren't giving them enough respect, pretty surprising to me. But, we'll do some Coach of the Year stuff tomorrow on the Countdown to March Madness podcast, which, fancy stuff. That'll be I guess 4 o'clock. I don't know. But in the Big Ten, before we get into the Northwestern Illinois game on Tuesday, Maryland is beating Minnesota 16-6 right now.
Wow.
So Minnesota continues to be the we can't play on the road, we're only good at home team.
Minnesota is such a weird team.
Like they beat Purdue barely at home.
Yeah.
And Illinois plays them at home on the 20th. I think next Saturday is that game. So that's going to be a tough matchup playing them at the barn. I think the last time they played there was Iowa's freshman year, and I think Illinois won that game. Unless they played last year at the barn. Did they? I don't know if they did.
I thought they did.
Maybe they did. That's probably a game that I
Am I
forgot.
crazy? I could be crazy.
I probably forgot the game. Some games go over the head, you know.
True.
So they played Minnesota. They played them at home and beat them 59-51, and they did not play at Minnesota last year. So the last time they played at Minnesota at the barn was, as everybody knows, January 30th of 2019, and they won that, or they lost that game 86-75. So I guess it was a year before that where they went into the barn and beat them, or they just lost that game and I forgot. I don't know. I feel like they played a lot better in that game. Maybe I'm losing it. I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Probably losing it.
What do you think about Minnesota?
I think they're just very iffy.
Yeah, they haven't beaten them at the barn in a while. I was wrong. I don't know what I was.
I don't know. Minnesota's one of those teams that I feel like you don't want to play, but you also don't know what Minnesota team's going to show up. So Illinois runs like that sometimes too.
When Illinois beat the brakes off of them,
let's not get it twisted.
When Illinois beat the brakes off of them in Champaign, Robbins was in foul trouble early. So if you can get him in that again, feel good about it. I like Illinois' guards and their ability to guard Marcus Carr.
Yeah.
And make other guys make shots. So that's a big factor. I don't know. I guess we'll go into the Illinois Northwestern game, which will be Tuesday at 8 o'clock on Big Ten Network. You have the 14-5, 10-3 in the Big Ten Illinois taking on 6-12, 3-11, 3-11 in the Big Ten Northwestern. So first matchup, the weirdest basketball game probably ever.
Yes.
Illinois is losing, 43-28 at the half. And then they outscore them 53-13 in the second half and win the game by 25.
Absolutely.
Made no sense. 81-56. You look at the numbers, Kofi had 18, Iowa had 15, and Frazier and Miller both had 14. So a lot of guys contributing in that game. It wasn't just one guy, doing the job. But Northwestern hasn't won in a long time. So Haslametrically speaking, of course, Illinois' 8th overall, Northwestern is 74th. Offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency sees Illinois 16th in offensive and 8th in defensive. Northwestern 92nd offensively, 55th defensively. Strength of schedule is the one advantage for Northwestern. Illinois 12th and Northwestern 4th.
Wow.
Expected outcome, Illinois 76.95 to 63.78. So expecting a comfortable 13-point winner. So they did have Illinois beating Nebraska by about 16.
Well, Nebraska. Yeah.
That's a tough one. Yeah. Northwestern started out 3-0 in the Big Ten with wins over Michigan State, Indiana, and Ohio State, and they're 0-11 since that. So it's not going too well for them. And they're just, not good. I don't know. I didn't even really think they were that good when they started out 3-0. I thought they had some players that were decent, but
yeah,
how good are they,
Yeah. I mean, and that's they beat Michigan State. Everybody thought that was a big win. Well, you look back on it, that wasn't much of a win. Beating Ohio State early, I guess, was really good.
It's a big deal, yeah. That's like an elite quad one win for a team that's 6-12.
Yeah.
In non-conference, they beat Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Chicago State, and Quincy, and then the Michigan State, Indiana, Ohio State games they won. Losses in non-conference, they lost one game that was to Pittsburgh, and then they've had losses to Iowa, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio State, Iowa, Wisconsin, Penn State, Rutgers, Purdue, Indiana, Rutgers. So 11 losses in the Big Ten, 11 in a row. So I don't know. I don't know what Northwestern team Illinois is going to see. But either way, it'll probably end up being a fairly close game.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this Nebraska game got them back to, you say it after every close game or every loss, but hopefully they find a different gear because they're gonna need it, because after Northwestern the schedule gets tough.
Yeah, you got Minnesota, Michigan State, probably going to reschedule with Michigan, Nebraska again, and then Wisconsin, Ohio State. Yeah. Just keep winning.
That's right.
Their starting lineup in the last game was Anthony Gaines, Chase Audige, Pete Nance, Miller Kopp, Ryan Young. So Boo Booey is coming off the bench.
Wow.
He has been awful, man. I mean, he is.
I know you're not a fan.
I said it, man. He's so overrated. I mean, he's so inconsistent. 0 points in a game. He's supposed to be their number one guy offensively going into the season. Now it's Audige who leads them in scoring, I think, at 14 a game. But, man, he's just not efficient. He can't score. He's small. What can you do?
He only had 3 in their last game against Rutgers. So.
And what was he shooting?
Yikes. How many times?
What did he shoot from the field?
I don't know. I don't have
1 for 5 or something, I think it was.
Probably.
So, yeah. They shot well under 40% against Rutgers. I think it was 32%.
Yeah.
So, and the last game that they played that was really competitive was when they went to overtime with Indiana, which was their game before Rutgers, which that game was a not good to watch. Like, I know a lot of people that were watching it because it was like a 4 o'clock. It was like a 4 o'clock in the afternoon game, and people were like forced to watch it. The college basketball people, they're looking for a game. Oh, let's watch this Big Ten game. And it was like 20-18 at the half or something. It was ridiculous. Bad game. But, yeah, I don't know. I forgot to put your prediction on the banner, so I'll just do that real quick, and you can stop while I'm doing that.
Did you break it? Because I already put it on there.
You probably didn't save it.
Yeah. Good teams are beating Northwestern pretty handily, so I think Illinois really needs to come out and dominate and show them who Chicago's real team is.
Loyola Chicago, yeah.
True. Real Big Ten team. Sorry, my bad.
I mean, Champaign and Chicago are like 2 hours apart, aren't they? I'm not really worried about being Chicago's anything, to be honest.
True.
I mean, you're telling me Chicago's like a top 5 city in America? I'm not so sure about that.
Okay. Anyways, I got Illinois winning
that.
I got Illinois winning this game, 82-65. What do you got?
74-61. I think I don't really want to pick them to score 80 points anymore because it's so weird how it works. Like, they scored 98 against Penn State. Right. They scored 81 against Northwestern, but 53 of that was in the second half.
Yeah.
And then against Nebraska, they scored 77. And they got to overtime. So
I bet you're pretty happy that Nebraska beat Penn State so people can stop saying how they might be a tournament team, huh?
I am. I did tweet Penn State is not good at all.
Yeah.
So
but
I think
people have been saying they have a chance, and
oh my God, that narrative is so bad. They don't want Lamar Stevens anymore, so shut up, people.
I think they finally put that to sleep after getting beat by Nebraska.
You would think, but whoever they play next, if they win, they're back.
We're right back. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole narrative, how that started. I think it's because they were decently rated in KenPom or something at offense or something. I don't even know. If I look here, they are 36th in offensive efficiency. So everyone thinks they're good. The 37th overall in KenPom. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't look at that team and think they're good. Now, if they had Lamar Stevens still, they probably would make the tournament because he was by far their best player.
Yeah.
And
he was very good.
They were ranked in the top 10 last year, and who went into their own building in Iowa's return and beat them? Thanks for coming. Thank you. So Illinois did. So, yeah. We did not mention that Illinois was ranked 5th in the committee's top 16.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, we kind of just threw this pod together. It's been a busy day.
They would be in Region B with Baylor, Texas, and Tennessee.
I think that's right where we predicted them, right? 5.
Yeah, I thought they might be 6 just because of everyone's fascination with Villanova.
Yeah.
But the committee knows what's up.
Lost. Well, they lost today, didn't they? Or they lost yesterday?
Yes, they lost the day of the rankings.
Okay. All right. Well,
yesterday. It's been a very long.
I think Illinois' net ranking would put them above.
They're fourth now, so
with the committee. So
I think they're fourth. I think it's Baylor, Gonzaga, Michigan.
So who did you say they'd be in with? Baylor and Texas?
Baylor, Texas, Tennessee, which is the region of defense.
And Tennessee just lost, right?
Tennessee lost to LSU in a game where they gave up a lot more points than they usually do. So if you look at defensive adjusted defensive efficiency on KenPom of those teams, Baylor is fourth, but I still think they're the best defensive team in the country. They just haven't played in a while. Tennessee is third. Illinois is 16th, and Texas is 23rd. So that's all four teams top 25 in adjusted defensive efficiency on KenPom. So that would be the region of defense. And that would be probably the second or first hardest region out of the four they picked.
Yeah.
I think region one is not hard at all. I mean, Gonzaga is much better than Bama, Oklahoma, and Iowa, even though I think Bama would have a chance maybe. But Michigan, Houston, West Virginia, Missouri is really weak. So Ohio State, Villanova, Virginia, Texas Tech is the other region of defense because Virginia and Texas Tech, elite defensive teams.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow on Countdown to March Madness number 2, of course. I think that's it for this one, unless you have anything else.
That's all I got. I did see Andres Feliz signed a contract overseas and played his first game. So good for him. Congratulations.
Yeah, I saw that too. I think maybe I forgot to retweet that. Interesting.
For CB Pratt, I don't even know what country that's in, but
that country is.
I tried to look, but it was all in a different language.
You could translate it, bro.
You can't translate it when you go to their website, though. Like it didn't.
Type it into Google Translate.
Oh, geez, that's too much work.
So I did want to report that John Rothstein now has an Illini shirt.
Oh boy!
So I'll put it on the screen here for the people that are watching the episode.
CB Pratt is in Spain. Somebody's having a good time at your house.
Yeah, I don't know why my mic picks up so much, and I like how they're disrespecting me by doing this or doing something. Here's the Illini shirt.
Very nice. Very nice.
And as you can see, my tabs, I got some March Madness stuff here, some hockey stuff here. Yeah, I already bought this shirt, so there you go, folks.
I like
a little overpriced, but
a little.
30's not bad.
Yeah, that's what
25 would be nice.
Kind of what they are. All
but
my new Illinois shirts were $30.
$6 shipping.
Cost $120 for 4 shirts.
Nothing wrong with that. Just supporting your team,
That's right.
So. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode, number 53. I'm going to go tell everyone to shut the hell up. We'll be back, I guess, Thursday or Friday probably to discuss this game and then also preview the Saturday Minnesota game, I guess. There's no time for that game yet, but if I had to guess, I don't think it'll be 11 a.m. I hope it's not, but it could be.
Yeah, what is with this 8 o'clock, 11 a.m.? Like, we either play at 8 p.m. or 11 a.m. I'm tired of it. Can we just get like a 4 o'clock game?
I'm trying to remember the last game that wasn't 8 p.m. Well, I guess the Wisconsin game was 1:30 or whatever, but yeah, they do play at 8 o'clock a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So let's play Minnesota at 8 o'clock. All right. Episode 54 later in the week. We'll see you then. Illinois better beat Northwestern. If they don't beat Northwestern, there's going to be a lot of rants going on. See you then.